Hi guys, we have Mansi. She's a marketing coach and a positioning consultant. She is helping business owners actually position their exact business and offering so that it appeals to the right audience and marketing is better, way better refined. So, would like to ask her a question and see the insights she will be able to provide to us. Hi, Mansi.
Hi.
Yeah. So the question is like I see that many people are directly jumping into marketing because I came across few Facebook comments and posts in some groups. People asking like one restaurant owner is approaching me and he's saying he's ready to spend money and I want to I want social media marketing. So what should I do? Then what happened is I saw those posts and I saw that see, boss, restaurant guy is approaching. You know, it's COVID. No one is coming to your hotel. The how good is your marketing doesn't matter. So better to be away from him, or else you will charge 10,000, 15,000, or 20,000, whatever you're charging, and you will say
Yeah.
nothing has come up. So uh, you should see other scenarios like what is that business clear about. Many of the businesses are not clear with positioning. If you ask them who is their client, they talk everyone, or if we ask them, they can't describe their client or their offerings or their products clearly. So
Yeah.
this is something I came across, and many marketers and business owners are still not very clear what is their product and whom are they building it for. So Mansi, what do you say, and what's your experience with all this kind of stuff? So how positioning is very very important, and what do you have to say on this?
Okay, so let me just take you back a little bit more. Okay, so I mean, you're talking about business owners, and the business owners, their expertise itself is business, right? It's not marketing.
Yeah.
But business owners are another level, right? When I'm looking back, I'm even looking at the marketers that we have, right? The marketers themselves don't know how to position themselves. A
Yeah.
lot of times they're struggling in their mind, thinking, which audience should I cater to? I know this, I know this, I know this, I know that, and I know so many things. I will just sell everything that I've got.
Full
We are
stack.
a
Full
yeah, we
stack.
are a service agency, right? How many
Yeah.
times have you heard that, right? So what I've realized is that it's not just the business owners, it's also the marketers who have the same type of issues.
Yeah.
Unless they and it's not about just finding a niche. Positioning is not just about finding a niche. So it's not saying that okay, we'll work only with restaurant owners. Positioning is about understanding your audience in such a way that they self eliminate themselves if they are not the right type of audience for you. So it has different elements. Like a positioning statement, while it doesn't give you that much, positioning goes into everything that you're doing in your marketing, whether it is your social media posts, whether it's your emails, whether it's your the leaflets that you're making, the flyers that you, anything that you make has to have elements of your positioning in it.
Yeah.
So let me give you an example. So if let's talk about the restaurant owners over there, right? Now let's assume that the restaurant owner was someone who had a nice premium restaurant that he was
Okay.
promoting, right? Now during COVID times he cannot have that, right?
Yeah.
That means his positioning has to change, and it cannot change to oh, we are a premium restaurant and we give you that experience. His positioning will change to how can we give you that experience at home,
Yeah.
right? So the he still keeps the idea of the experience in there. It's just that he adds other elements to it which are relevant to the context of what's happening. So
Yeah.
positioning will have number of things out there, right? It will have even the marketer who's catering to the guy who's a restaurant owner. Let's say you say I am a marketer who's catering to the restaurant owner, right? It's not just restaurant owners, it's which type of restaurant that you're catering to. It could be the size of their turnover that you're catering to. It
Yeah.
could be things that in terms of context that locality that you're catering to. So there are lots of these little things that you can add into a positioning statement, or use in your copy when you're marketing, that eliminates the people who are not right for you.
Yeah, like some restaurants actually focus on people who come and hang out there a lot of time. They keep
Yeah,
discussing, chatting. But some restaurants are like a fast move. They come,
exactly.
eat, go, and sometimes it's focused on like they some restaurants are focused on business people. Some are focused on couples. Some are focused on families. So based on that atmosphere, everything changes. And so the business
Exactly.
changes, the marketing also should change
Yeah.
that way.
So whenever people are normally people don't even understand what positioning is,
Yeah,
because it's a very complex subject, and it's not very easy for a person to just say, okay, this is what I am, because it requires a lot of self understanding to be able to understand what is it that I want to cater to. Another thing that people are afraid of is that if I say no to this person, I will lose business,
yeah,
right? And that's another fear that a person will have in it, saying that if I say I'm only doing restaurant owners, but then what about the other guy who has a service business who comes to me, you know? What
yeah,
about the hotel guy? What about the guy who's on the, doing like one of these logistic services? I cater to that guy also. But what they are not realizing is that the moment they start to decide whom they are going to serve, they will all of a sudden become experts in that field, because they will do one, they
yeah,
will know more, they will do another, they will know more, and they become so good at that field that they will start to actually position themselves as an authority in that field. So, when they say I'm doing Facebook ads for e-commerce guys, right? You can still like niche it further
yeah.
and say what kind of e-commerce guys. And
Yeah,
you can
e-commerce is
also,
also again huge. E-commerce is nothing but again it's commerce again. It's
yes,
in the internet means in the online space. So
yeah,
it's again lot is there to actually niche down. And when you talk about positioning, I got an idea like you can see example of jockey, which is international wear, but still they're a leader. And then now you come to see South Indian wear called Ramraj, and they
yeah,
sell that lungis, and people would have never thought how the hell is it working, and those guys are expanding even. I
yes,
see people wearing their masks now. So niching, and I also saw some companies which had a specific niche, and then slowly they expand their product base. They
yes.
got good with one niche, they got reputation. Now they, and you see some, you also could have noticed that a lot. So the positioning, I think, will definitely play a huge role, and many people are actually afraid of not doing that, not playing that.
So, I mean, I'll give you my example, right? I work only with, like from the agency side, I work only with B2B people. And,
B2B.
but from the other side, I work only with, personally, I work only with service providers and people who are in consultants and coaches and those kind of people. Now, when I'm working with them, I'm very clear about the kind of all of them have similar issues. So for me, it becomes very easy to cater to them because I have systems and processes in place. All of a sudden, my business starts to become profitable. So doing your positioning right in a way where your not only the marketing is done right, but also your systems and processes in the business cater to one type of customer, one type of business, makes your business multiple times profitable.
Yeah,
So for a business owner as well, to niche and to be able to position themselves in the right way makes a lot of difference to the business in itself. They become highly profitable.
yeah, they
This is
get a
an
lot of good
aspect,
direction.
yes. And this is an aspect that most people forget about,
Yeah,
because they're building equity in one space. Like it's like instead of going horizontal with your positioning, you're going vertical.
yeah,
You're building equity in one space, and that's exactly what you need to do if you want to be an authority and be credible in a particular space. Like even Amazon, right? They started out with books. I
books.
think people forget that, because I mean, Jeff Bezos started out with books. He
Yeah,
started with one thing, one product.
he did
You
it
know?
exceptionally well. He did that part very well, like offering books at a very low price and
Yeah.
deliverability, everything. He managed to do it well, and he expanded like hell. And now you see every other company has actually copied that kind of a model. When we
Yeah.
see Uber, Ola, and so that's where Amazon gets that credibility. I
Yes.
don't know if Amazon, Jeff Bezos has copied this from someone else. I don't know, but nowadays people are creating a lot of marketplaces out there,
Yeah.
and it's working very well. And that's a
Yeah.
kind of niche again. They're choosing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and while I'm not very fond of the Ambani family, I'm still going to say it. But when Dhirubhai Ambani started, he actually started in textiles
yeah,
originally.
yeah. Polyester and his story,
Yes, yes. Now
Guru
that's
Bhakti
a story. Like now, if you look at Reliance, it's a huge company, right? It's in various verticals. But he originally started with
one. Yeah,
one type, and not even like any kind of textiles, polyesters.
yeah. That story reminds me of that. And even nowadays, a lot of marketers are actually doing that doing that mistake of trying to do everything, trying to be everything. I'll ask people, boss, if you have 2 to 3 people team, what do you think? How are you? How can you do best at your thing? And when you can't offer a best service, you can't get best better clients. And if you don't
Yes,
get better clients, you can't charge them high. So
yes,
better if you have a 3 people team, focus on one thing. So you see 3 people team working on one specific thing are growing well. I'm
yes,
seeing some guys. I have some examples, but I'll not take names a lot. But I'm seeing a community called digital marketing community where there's one company called Top on Trends. They're focusing only on coaches.
yes,
They're only helping out coaches. So they reached out, and that's the reason only 3 people they're able to do very well, and they're doing business only mostly with foreign clients,
yeah.
and they have
So
a
for
specific
yeah, for
partner,
me
but I
also.
won't get into the details because yeah,
No, that's fine. So, I mean, that's exactly what I'm saying. So, even in coaches, you have different types of coaches. You
yeah,
have the spiritual life coach types people, and then you have the business coaches and the marketing coaches, and those kind of people as well. So, there is so much view of the market is huge. There is space for everybody.
yeah,
What people feel, I think, afraid of is two, three things. One is that they are going to lose business, which you're losing business to gain business actually, if you look at it,
yeah,
right? You're letting go of the crap clients so that you can get good clients, and so that you can build authority in your space, right? That's what positioning is supposed to do for you. That's what
yeah.
building
That's
credit.
that's really 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 important. The other day I was discussing with one of our growth partners, Rafikul. He is into content marketing. He is always talks about content marketing. I just want to test how does this work. So I asked him, Rafikul, can you tell me 5 people who are good at Facebook ads? And he started telling me, see, it's not that it's only truth or false, but the perception I'm talking.
Yeah.
He told that one name is Karan Parwani, uh, because Karan always talks about Facebook ads. Of course, he does Facebook ads. Then he talked about Tarun Kumar.
Okay.
He talked about Shibram Mishra. Because
Okay.
Shibram Mishra was also doing a workshop, he got established some credibility, though he's having an agency and all. So then I asked Rafikul, why did you mention only these 3 people's names?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want to hear. Then he's saying, because I see them all, I see them many places. So these guys are doing that, and even they are positioning themselves that they're doing that. And that's the reason people, you positioning is one important thing where you position and you also talk. So I think this positioning part, people think it's a light subject, but I'll tell you, if it's very very important. If someone, that's the reason I'm seeing some guys are niching out, positioning themselves the right way, and they're actually, because one such example is Suman Jain in our community. She positioned herself as Pinterest marketing expert.
Yeah.
So you see, people will think why the hell she's actually only taking only Pinterest marketing when no one was caring about it. But
Yes.
she's doing good.
But that's the thing. So immediately your mind went there, right? That's exactly what I'm talking about. So the crux of positioning is to be able to stand out in an overcrowded market,
Yeah.
because every second person nowadays is a marketer, is a
Digital
social media
marketer,
person.
marketer and digital marketer like engineer. Like
Yes,
engineer. I was an engineer and the people, I was in pass out of 2004. And later on, 2004 also we felt, we were happily saying engineers. And afterwards, now engineer means everywhere they are there. Like that now, digital marketer. If you go to a conference and say, I'm a digital marketer, other side also, you'll see other out of 10 shake hands, 6 7 people saying, I'm also a digital marketer.
yeah. So in my space, if I were to look at it in my space, in my agency space, like we I used to be called a brand strategist, right? And again, every second person that I was meeting was a brand strategist, so the video guy was a brand strategist, the content person was a brand strategist. I mean, they may know branding from a particular aspect. Branding is huge again, right?
Yeah.
It's an overall umbrella of things.
Umbrella,
So
yeah.
if
Branding is a very, very vague term. You can't say you know everything about
can't
branding.
quantify, you can't, yeah. So every second person is either a digital marketer or a branding strategist. So you're basically looking, whether it's a business owner or it's a marketer, anyone, they're looking for white space to put themselves in the entire landscape of marketing. And
Yeah,
that is what positioning is supposed to do for you, right? It's
yeah,
supposed to make you stand out amongst the rest. So when you're immediately, the moment you have a particular problem, that particular name triggers in your mind, because it's so associated so many times with that particular thing. Like when you thought of books, you thought of Amazon. Now you can't disassociate the two,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And
And we
it's the
also
same
see
thing.
many ads in the TVs because already an established brand. Why they even do ads? Because they need to have that recall value. They keep on doing that. Why? Because they can't let go of their positioning. They keep. They try to keep subtly in the minds. Recalling that, yeah, we are this, we are this, we are this, and
Yeah.
you have a positioning, and you also have to consistently ensure that people are able to recall that you are so and so.
I will tell you one last one, which is my most favorite, right? And everybody quotes Steve Jobs in most of the things, but I think the man was brilliant in terms of recognizing. He may not have done the marketing himself, but I think he was brilliant in terms of recognizing what was good positioning for Apple. And
Yeah,
that's the reason why the brand lasts so long. So one of the things was his ads. I can't remember the year the ad was in, but everybody knows that ad because it was, I think, a speech that was written, right? So he says, we are for the people who are the round the square pegs in the round hole, right?
yeah,
So he's immediately, so you see the association that he's doing. He's doing an association of the fact that we are for people who are creatives. We
yeah,
are for people who are not the norm, who think differently, and
yeah.
therefore the tagline. So
And
immediately
yeah,
he's
please.
he's asking you. So if you feel like that at any stage in your life, if you felt that I don't fit in, then you can associate. I'm thinking different here. The immediate association is Apple.
Yeah.
you know
And
so
I also remember their ad. Like initially, they went on for a three-page ad, and it was a disaster. He went to another company called Pixel or something, media company. He learned storytelling and all. Then he came back, and the small ad they wrote think different, and there was a logo. They didn't even
yeah,
reveal what was it, and that's how I could relate what you're saying. So the positioning was very clear. They made it very clear. Yes, that
yeah.
recalls me actually.
Another last one is very old ad, and I don't know whether you remember this. And again, it's a Volkswagen ad. The Beetle. You remember the car, the Beetle,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
In the ad was, it's a huge space, right? It's there's a lot of space, white space in there, and the car is like this small
Yeah,
on the entire ad. And it said, all it said was think small. And and during that period, so you also have to look at the context, right? If you look at the marketing landscape at that time, it was all big huge cars, one of those big huge cars which are like, a lot of wastage of fuel, energy, everything, right? And all of a sudden they had to position the Beetle, which in a way that it should look like it is the thing to have, it is the
yeah,
next trend, right?
yeah,
And what they did was that everybody's saying think big, right? Because big car. I have the biggest car, I have the biggest engine, I have the most gas guzzler, right? And all of a sudden, you have made this white space where you're saying think small. So it's
yeah,
an exact contrast to this, right?
yeah,
And that's a brilliant, again, way of positioning your brand, whether it's a product, it's a service, it's a person, even in personal branding, right? It's the
yeah,
same thing. So finding that white space where everybody's saying one thing and then you are doing the contrasting opposite of that.
yeah. Yeah,
Right?
that takes some guts, and you should be having the gut feeling and do it because you know it's working. It's not like you're doing something very very new. Because people who do take risks, they will definitely they of course have some failures, but again they do something really good. And that ads, I can also talk on ads a lot because they also talk about a lot of positioning when you see an
Yeah.
ad, you see a lot of positioning out there. I
Yeah.
think later, many people copied that kind of a concept where I could see uh,
Mhm.
Hutch in India. They came up with that kind of ad. It's a big white billboard, and just
Mhm.
on the corner there is something small, very small
Yeah.
word Hutch or something
Yeah.
like that. They try to do grab attention and all. Yeah, Mansi, I think it will be a pleasure to have you for a full session. Right now, we can't decide it all, but it was really fun talking to you about this positioning aspect and how does it actually impact businesses or marketers out there.
Yeah.
In fact, anyone out who is actually providing services or doing business. So we'll try to have a session. I can't promise how soon it will be, but guys, we'll soon have Mansi sometime. Thank you, Mansi, for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you for having me. This was fun. I'm always happy to speak to you.
Bye.
Bye.